This is Pops. This is about Spider-Gwen Shadow Clones, right? A new 2023 comic book about Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen. I haven't done really a modern comic review in a minute, so I thought I would kind of throw this out there with some others and kind of get to it. So, yeah, the new Shadow Clone. That's right, Emily Kim and KEI ZAMA. And here's our first look at the art. Lots of pinks and purples. So you have the villains there kind of moving through the skyline, getting closer and closer with characters that are talking off camera. You have Dr. Octopus, you have Vulture, you have all these different characters. Really in distance, can't tell until they get close and you realize, oh, Ghost Spider, as Spider-Gwen goes by. Also, she's facing off against the 616 villains, and they all kind of go around the panel and kind of tell you who everybody is and all of that. And then they kind of like highlight on, quote, Ghost Spider and how she's going to kick butt. So the action kind of moves inside with this other laboratory, and they're just doing the experimentation when Vulture kind of is thrown through, burst through, whatever, doesn't matter. And the dude saves her, kind of pushes her out of the way. And then the fight kind of moves inside with Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, taking on Vulture and kind of like leading him away. There's a little bit of dialogue and that kind of thing, some explosions, nothing of any, well, it's important to note the little bomb things that are kind of shooting out from Vulture towards them, because that's what kind of plays up next is the action kind of moves and you see that there's a little bomb that's kind of left behind. And as that bomb is sitting there, you kind of cut to his face because he sees it right before this massive explosion, the massive boom, so to speak. And of course, it creates a kind of a bloody mess. And, you know, she's very, very shaken by all of this, very, very upset by all of this. And it transitions into the next panel where she's crying out for help. And then you have, you know, there's Spider-Gwen in the background. She's just cutting things up and having fun and being silly, being little Spider-Man humor, while death and chaos is like in the character's front door. And you see just this grim, bloody face just kind of looking back at you. So actually kind of powerful. I like that part. So we cut to Gwen Stacy and she's overslept. She's a big haggard mess. She's lazy, laying around. Oh my gosh. And this is Mary Jane. That's right. She's a lead singer in a rock band in this universe, the Mary Janes. And she's reminded Gwen she's late for work. And there you go. There's some of my favorite art in the whole book. No, I'm being sarcastic. Look at that face they put on Gwen's face. It's just, I don't understand these panels. I don't understand these panels. They completely distract and take you out of the moment when they do things like that. I don't know what they're going for. Anyway, she shows up at work late. Of course, it doesn't matter. Nobody matters. I don't know who some of these other characters are. I don't really care. There's definitely like intimate tension. I don't know if Gwen is supposed to be into girls in this universe. They're out on their little walk and talk before Gwen kind of gets a little spider sense tingly stuff going on, and that kind of breaks up the date, kind of breaks up the conversation because she's got to rush off into action. And by the way, she knows who Spider-Gwen is. And here's her face to face with a couple of thugs, very pathetically dressed, and also like surrender their gun in any effort to fight, like instantly, like just totally surrender to her. No battle whatsoever. And then a little later, we have this sort of cut to Dr. Octopus, and she has these little conversations. And by the way, the last time I had a multiversal rift, blah, 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 there's no editorial notes. I hate that there's no editorial notes. We don't know what issue that they're talking about. Then they cut to basically female Doc Ock, right? So in this universe, we have this female Doc Ock that she's coming face to face with and hovering over her with this full panel look of art, different dynamics there. Still a lot of purples, a lot of pink, that kind of thing. And here it's a little bit of the fight going hand to hand here. And then it's like she's saying, well, but you look like me. You're some side of Gwen Ock. And I'm like, Gwen Ock? What on earth? And then, you know, this is kind of like, there is editorial notes on this one. I thought that was interesting to note. Well, you guys can do editorial notes at the bottom of this where you make reference to some other action, some other book, but you don't do it consistently. So the action moves along quickly. There's different pages, different action sequences. I didn't capture everything. Gave everybody a little dose of what to expect. And here she's basically going to pull the plug on Gwen Ock. That's what I'm going to call her. I don't even know if she has like another code name or not. It doesn't really matter to me. She's in this alternate universe of nonsense. And she pulls off her mask. It's like, oh my gosh, we look just alike. Oh my gosh, what are we going to do about that? Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go ask for help. right? And she goes to Reed Richards. Well, I think I got these panels out of order, but reality is this is our tough girl Gwen Stacy pose and look, which I love. I kind of had a little chuckle. Like, she looks like she's 120 pounds wet. And I know she's supposed to be a spider powered, but it's still just silly. Anyway, they go see Reed Richards. Yes, that's him right there, sitting in the chair. And there's all this conversation about not wanting to help. But then she basically like, I'll give you 20% off of smoothies at the Summer Shine. He's like, oh, okay, that's cool. I mean, I have exams and stuff, but I can do that for a discount on smoothies. Yeah, this is Reed Richards in this universe. That's right. The uber genius of the Marvel Universe is reduced to this very effeminate black version of Reed Richards. Yeah, I was like, what? I'm looking at like a childish. And then this is their reaction when they find out they're, quote, they're clones. That's right. It's not a different character, not stuck into a different multiverse. Nope. It's just a different Gwen. I mean, you can tell by the hair, right? No. Anyway, so that goes through this conversation about Gwen and Doc Ock's personalities and memories and how they're basically like an amalgam. And that's kind of what transpires until we get to the end and we realize that we're going to have now Gwen Sand. Gwen something, Sandman Guac. I don't know what we're going to have, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a theory, I guess, of clones based on Gwen Stacy is the premise of this little story arc. Oh, I left this other in because I need a double dose of reminding you of this is, to me, the biggest problem with modern comics is they have to have these little weird juvenile kiddie moments. I don't know if they're inspired by anime. I don't know if they're inspired by a certain type of artist. They're always so distracting. Worst panel in the entire book. Anyway, so yeah, Shadow Clones is kind of a setup. And it's funny how in the cover, it is sort of a spoiler. And then, of course, when you look at the preview of the next issue, there's also spoilers. So anyway, I guess there'll be more Gwen clones coming for those of you that are interested in this book. I might read on just because of the fun of reading about Spider-Gwen, Gwen Stacy ghost spider thing with Into the Spider-Verse coming. I don't know how I feel about this. I was not happy that it was just so clunky and cheesy and cheeky and whatever. So there you go. Caught you up on Spider-Gwen, Shadow Clones. I'm Pops. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.